Is your PC having problems? Are apps running slow, games underperforming or dropping frames, and just generally you're having a slow or laggy PC? Well, then this video is for you. Today, I'm going to tell you guys about common problems with your PC and how you can easily fix them, because most of the time, it's a real simple fix. So let's get straight into the tips. Howdy, my name is Timmy, here with Sirius Power PC. And first things first, restart your computer. I know, this is real simple. Turn it off, turn it back on again. But the amount of times this has fixed problems for me is baffling. Literally just restarting the computer. If you have maybe a bunch of Google Chrome tabs open, or if you're playing a game and you notice a large drop in frames, then restarting your PC is a great starting point. And to add on to restarting your PC, sometimes hitting shut down rather than restart, hitting shut down, letting your PC completely power off, and then if your power supply has a switch on it, once it fully powers down, and after you've given it a couple seconds after it's fully powered down, flip that switch on your power supply, give it like 30, maybe 45 seconds, flick that switch back on, and then turn your PC back on. This is typically called power cycling your PC, or as I personally prefer to call it, Tech Solutions 101. Just turn it off and turn it back on again. This has fixed problems with gaming for me. There was one time where Discord just wouldn't update. It couldn't download the update despite the fact that I was connected to the internet. I was able to fix that with restarting. There's just a lot that can be fixed by simply restarting your PC. This is a great place to start off with troubleshooting if your PC is being slow. Next up, let's take a look at general internet problems. I'm not gonna go super in depth on this because I'm not a networking expert, but what I would recommend if you are having internet problems is to firstly, yet again, you've probably thought of this, but just in case you haven't, turn off and turn back on your router. Completely unplug your router from the wall, wait 30 seconds, plug it back in, see if that fixes the issue. If that doesn't fix the issue and you're running a wired connection from your router or a node through your house somewhere, if you're running a wired connection to your PC, try unplugging the cable and then plugging it back in. If that doesn't fix the issue, consider getting a higher speed cable if speed is the issue and not connectivity. Like if you have a 1 gigabyte internet service, but your PC is only getting like 100 to 200, then trying a faster cable could be the solution. Another thing you should look into is updating your router. A lot of times, routers will have updates available, but not automatically install those updates. That's happened to me quite a bit, despite the fact that I told it to auto-update. There was one time where our router was cutting off about every 10 to 15 minutes. I had no idea why. I went, updated our router, worked perfectly fine, didn't cut out anymore. So whatever, most routers nowadays have an app that comes with them that lets you control different parts of the router and reset your router and update it and whatnot. So check on your router's app or on your router's website for how to access that router and update it. Next up on my list of helpful tech troubleshooting tips is updating Windows. I talk about updating Windows a whole lot, but I'm just gonna be blunt with you. Windows has a lot of issues and so much can go wrong with a simple like Windows update. Typically, whenever a big Windows update installs onto my computer, over the next week, I have at least 3 problems with my PC that has to be fixed through smaller patches that literally just require me to restart my PC. The amount of things, Windows is a good operating system, don't get me wrong, it's a great operating system, but the amount of times that a large Windows update has just created smaller problems that they then have to patch later on is baffling to me. So check your Windows update, check for optional updates as well. I know one time at our church, our PC was not connecting to the internet, and that was because there was a Wi-Fi driver that was an optional update, not an automatically installed update, and that fixed the problem. No issues whatsoever. So go ahead, check Windows updates, check those optional updates. I recommend installing all of the optional updates because I know I've had Bluetooth on a laptop get messed up by a Windows update before, and like I just mentioned, I've had Wi-Fi get messed up because of an update before. There's just a lot that can go wrong with Windows updates, so especially if you just recently had a larger Windows update, make sure to check those optional updates to see if maybe something got a patch and needs to be installed. Another thing you should consider trying out is dusting off your PC. The amount of people that just don't dust their PC at all isn't great, especially considering the fact that your PC needs that airflow. Components will overheat. Components can go bad very quickly because you are not dusting off your PC. So just cleaning your PC, general physical maintenance for your PC, I would highly, highly recommend. We actually made a video a few weeks ago showing how to dust off and do the best job of cleaning your PC. You can check that out in the top right hand of the screen right now. But I recommend cleaning your PC every 1 to 2 months if it's on top of your desk, but if your PC is on the floor, especially if you have animals like a cat or dog, then I would recommend cleaning your PC every 3 to 4 weeks, just because that dog hair, especially if you have like a cat laying on top of your PC, then you probably should be cleaning your PC more often than every 3 to 4 weeks, just because cats typically leave a lot of hair, and that can clog up the airflow parts of the PC, and it can just generally lead to a lot of problems down the road. So dusting off your PC, highly, highly recommend it. I'll also leave that video linked in the description down below if you guys want to check it out. Next up on the list is to close unwanted apps and prevent unnecessary software from starting at startup. Apps are a big part of your PC, and if you let a ton of them stay open all the time, then chances are pretty good you are going to run into some performance issues. So if you're not currently listening to music on Spotify, just close it. If you're not currently using your Chrome tabs, just close them. You can always make a tab group for later and set those to open back up when you go back into Google Chrome. So whatever the case may be, if you have a ton of apps open and you notice that your game is like dropping frames and having a significantly lower frame rate, especially with Chrome, try and while you're gaming have as few Chrome tabs open as possible, because Chrome just eats up your system resources like it's nobody's business. So go ahead and close unused apps and software. Another point on that as well is if you go into your task manager, you can view what programs run at startup. A lot of people will complain that over time, as they install more apps, their PC will be slower to start up. Well, that's because a lot of those apps by default will set themselves to run on startup. Like, I don't know if you've ever had Steam update and Discord update and Spotify update and a bunch of other different apps, like game launchers especially are very guilty of this. If you don't play a game all the time and you need it auto updated, there's a good chance that is slowing your startup speeds, and it could even be running in the background. So if you don't use these apps, then just navigate to the task manager, go to the startup tab of that, and disable any apps from running at startup that you don't need. I would recommend leaving all like Windows apps open, except for like, Cortana and OneDrive. If you don't use those, you can obviously disable those, or you can just uninstall those. If you're interested in how to uninstall those Windows apps, we actually made a tutorial showing how to use a really helpful tool called Revo Uninstaller to uninstall those apps. You can check that video out in the top right hand of the screen right now. But just keeping those from starting at startup will significantly improve. I say significantly, it's probably only going to be by a few seconds, but that will improve your PC's startup time drastically. I've got 2 more tips for you, and the first one of those tips is to run a malware scan with Malwarebytes. I have used a lot of free antivirus software in my days, and I am now over the curve to where I say that Windows Defender does a good enough job. Unless you are really just scouring the internet and downloading a ton of stuff off of the internet, Windows Defender does a good enough job for me personally. But if your PC is running unnaturally slow, what I would recommend doing is downloading Malwarebytes. It's one of the best softwares that I would say actually detects malware. It can do a full deep system scan. I would, to be perfectly honest, recommend uninstalling it after you do the scan. If you don't have any malware, I would recommend getting rid of Malwarebytes because they're obviously going to try and sell you on their Pro plan. You don't need their Pro plan. Their free version does a great job, and they offer a free, like, deep scan of your entire PC, all your PC files, when you download that free trial. So try out Malwarebytes if you think there are viruses. And if you don't want to do that, I totally understand. I believe Windows Defender has like a free also deep scan, but in my own personal experience, Malwarebytes has typically, like, I used to work on some different infected computers with malware, and Windows Defender would not always pick up the malware, and then Malwarebytes would immediately pick it up and immediately remove it. So it's just a good option if you want a little bit more of a deeper scan than Windows Defender can offer. But for most cases, I would say that Windows Defender is enough of an antivirus slash, malware scanner. And the final tip that I have for you is specific to people who have a machine or system that is running a hard drive. So if you have an SSD, this doesn't apply to you, but still stick around, especially if you have a hard drive. When a hard drive is running low on space, that hard drive has to run faster and it has to run harder because it has less storage space available. I would highly, highly recommend either buying some external storage or deleting / backing up and then deleting files that are on your hard drive. For example, let's say you have a 2 terabyte hard drive, right? Well, if you're using 1 terabyte of that hard drive isn't gonna be running super, super hard, constantly, because it's constantly having to access files. But if you're, say, using 1.8 terabytes, guilty. I used to have a 2 terabyte hard drive and I filled up 1.8 terabytes, and oh my word, that thing ran a lot slower when I had a lot of storage on it. But try and free up hard drives, because this isn't so much the case with SSDs. An SSD isn't quite as susceptible to this, but my point is, try not to completely and totally cram your storage full of space, because I almost assure you your PC will run significantly faster if you are using half to 2/3 of your storage, as opposed to, using all 2 terabytes. Hard drives are the biggest culprit of this, and generally it's not great for that disk to be really, really full. So just try and clean off that storage whenever you can for some better performance. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this tutorial / hopefully helpful list that was able to help you fix your PC's problems. Again, this isn't gonna solve every single problem. If this video wasn't able to help you solve your PC problems, then try and Google what your problem is, or if you want to, you can reach out to us at SiriusPowerPC.com. We're here to help you hopefully get your PC running as fast as possible. If you haven't already, check out our Black Friday Cyber Monday sales. We made a video on this last week. I'll leave it in the top right hand of the screen right now. We have some really, really great sales, anywhere from $50 to $300 off of our PCs. And we also have a free mouse and keyboard for you if you order a PC over $1,000. Be sure to check out our affiliate program, because you could win a free PC if you do so. If this tutorial helped you, or if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, as well as consider subscribing with notifications on. That way you get all of our videos in your subscription feed. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. My name is Timmy, here with Sirius Power PC. I'll see you guys later.